Falcon fans, and of course, good old Atlanta Falcon fans. You already know what it is. You already know what it do. Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Back talking Atlanta Falcons football. Apple Podcast, Spotify Podcast, Amazon Podcast, YouTube, everywhere, man. One Time for the Fan. Just trying to do the best we can to keep you all entertained this off season. I think we've been doing a good job. Big shout out to the chat. Big shout out to T Will, former ATL Sports. One Time for the Fan. T Will.
Yes, sir.
Is, the overtime show for you. You just did another show this morning. Those that checked out T Will's show, big shout out to you all. Welcome to One Time for the Fan. Just real quick, T Will, how's everything going with you, sir? We do have a special guest who's going to be joining us here shortly, Mr. Mark Cheney.
Mr. Mark Cheney.
Marky Mark with us a few times. Big shout out to Mark who's going to be joining us here. Terry, how's everything going, sir?
All good, man. No complaints. Friday morning, man. Got a lot of Falcons transactions to discuss. Apparently, we brought back our entire offensive line. I don't know who the backup center is, but we probably signed him because we signed a lot of backup offensive linemen, and we extended Jake, and we definitely are going to retain New Zeal. I think, right? We're going to match whatever offer he gets. Did he get an offer? Mm-hmm, Did we officially sign him? Or yeah. Mm-hmm. So yeah, our offensive line is there, man. All good, man. Had a great show this morning, man. Talked a little Falcons, Braves, Hawks. Did a little trivia. Had a good time, man. It was fun.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. It's going to be a great show this morning. We also have our good friend, Miss Carrie.
Miss Carrie, baby.
Talking some Falcons football, too, as well. Good morning, Miss Carrie.
Good morning, y'all. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. How's everything going with you?
It's going well. I mean, just finished listening to that new Cardi and Kendrick. I mean, can't complain.
It's like a good morning, right?
Right. And then, I was listening to that guy Debo Vibes and T Will talk some Falcons, Braves, hip hop. It was nice.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, even if you're talking hip hop, right? Like, we can just switch over to that. I'm sure Mark's going to be joining us here in just a little minute. Quick podcast, too. We won't keep you all past probably like 10:05, 10:10 the latest. But shout out to everybody that's in the chat, too, as well. Like, One Time for the Fan, from the fan, for the fan. Y'all are the greatest, man. But if you're talking hip hop, man, you got this dude, man, Playboy Cardi, man. Pretty much had a lot of hip hop music goers on edge last night, telling them that he was going to drop the album at a certain point around midnight. Then when it got to midnight, he said, "Oh, we're going to drop it 12 o'clock Pacific time." Right? So then people wait up till 3 a.m. All the streamers that were up live, all your big time streamers. 3 a.m. came, T Will, no album. He then joined some of the streamers too as well to joke with them about the album dropping. Album did not drop, but then this morning it dropped, and Kerry just mentioned it. Kendrick Lamar making 2 appearances on this album too as well. Kendrick is on an epic run right now, right? So big shout out to Kendrick. Like the Super Bowl,
mm-hmm.
The Grammys, right?
Is he the hip hop artist of the year?
I think he did. He like went crazy at the Grammys, man.
Yeah, I think he'd have to be the hip hop artist of the year.
Man.
Grammy, Super Bowl, now this. He would have to be.
Big shout out to all you music listeners out there that's checking out all these new tapes that did drop today. Everybody's in the chat talking Falcons football. Let's see what's going on. Let's see here. Sterling Woods. What is going on this Friday morning? Good morning, Sterling Woods. Let's see here. DSGB Hall. Throwing up the red and black emojis. Falcon fans. Big shout out to DSGB Hall in the chat. Falcons Commander is in the chat. Good football Friday pie day. Go ATL Falcons, rise up, Dirty Birds. Falcon fans talking Falcons football. Terry, on
yes, sir.
Falcons Friday. Can't beat that, right?
Yes, sir.
Let's get it, y'all.
Let's get it.
Season in the chat. One time for the one time.
Good morning, everyone.
For the one time.
Big shout out to Smooth C. Swole said, y'all late. Hell, y'all at. We right here. Big shout out to Swole.
Fashionably late.
Jeez, I know, right? Dwayne Ruffin in the chat. Good morning, Falcon fan. He's checking in from the West Coast. Dwayne Ruffin, man. What is it? 6:20.
Deke. He's dedicated, man.
Hey, Deke.
Talking Falcons football at 6:30 in the morning on the West Coast. That's a
He's dedicated, man.
Falcon fan.
Dang. That's
is in the
awesome.
chat with the hey y'all. Carrie, you can't beat that. When you got Falcon fans waking up at 5 a.m., 6 a.m. to talk Falcons, man, this is what we want. You know what I'm saying? Because this off season has been interesting. Even when we got off the podcast the other night, like if we would have stayed on for maybe 10 more minutes, we probably would have been talking for another 2 hours, right? Because the Falcons dropped some news that we'll talk about too as well. As Terry mentioned, I guess they're trying to get that offensive line together. We're starting to get closer to the draft, so I think with some of these moves being made, it's kind of pinpointing who we might draft. Right? We can throw, some more names around. I think Malachi Starks is a name that's starting to climb up a lot of people's draft boards here, and I can see the fit for the Atlanta Falcons. So that could be, something that can happen on draft night. Pam Jackson's in the chat with the good morning, everyone. Big shout out to Pam Jackson. Lisa Shepard is in the chat with the hey y'all. Big shout out to Lisa Shepard. Larry's in the chat. T. Will said, I think they will let Nuzil compete for a starting center job. Carrie, T. Will, one time for the fan. These fans, they're asking questions here. What y'all got, T. Will? What you think?
I think New Zealand it's his job to lose.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, who else? So New Zealand relieved Dahlman last year when he got hurt, right?
Yep.
And New Zealand did an admirable job. New Zealand was, I believe, the center of record. Wow, like we're in court. New Zealand was the center when Kirk threw for 500 and whatever yards. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I'd say he has the inside track. Carrie, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I felt the same way, but center for that was previously, I believe, on the Jets and just got released. Gosh, I'm trying to remember his name right now. Do you guys happen to know? He has ties to our offensive line coach. He was his offensive line coach in college. So a lot of Falcons fans are thinking that he could be a guy, a veteran presence that we bring in and who could compete for that starting job, because a lot of people believe that, we didn't tender New Zealand at first, so it's technically still he can get offers from other football teams and we would just match. So a lot of people think that is just like a sign that we don't show, like the Falcons aren't showing that they have full faith in him as the starter, because if you did, you would just go ahead and sign him to a deal, long-term deal, but we didn't do that. So I'm trying to find his name. I apologize. Give me a minute.
I know you have David Andrews too as well from the New England Patriots. That's a name who Falcon fans was also speaking about. He's a veteran that's played here in the league for quite some time. Could also help fit what we need at this offensive line right here. But New Zealand, like Terry said, this could be his job to lose for real. And the position that he was backing up Drew Dahlman. Drew Dahlman now leaving to Chicago to get the bag. It's a situation where New Zealand, he did a decent job, when he was called upon last year or in the times that he was called upon being here with the Atlanta Falcons. And you can see from the moves that the Falcons made that they are trying to keep a lot of the players, in-house still as well. Bringing back Storm Norton too as well, I believe. Bringing back Kyle Hinton, Elijah Wilkinson. Big shout out to the homie Elijah Wilkinson, man, to have him back in the building. Remember, Elijah was a starter on this offensive line a couple years ago. For pretty much the entire season. And now you can see Elijah now is fighting to get a spot on this roster. So big shout out to Elijah as well. But yeah, New Zealand, I think, like Terry said, this is his job to lose right now. Unless the Falcons go outside a flowery branch and go pick somebody else up. But we will see. That's the cool thing about this offseason, T. Will and Carrie. We will see. But I would take a shot at the Patriots Center too as well if they don't feel confident in New Zealand. The Patriots Center has some, some years in this league, and I think if Terry Fontenot and Raheem feels like he'll be a good fit here, then they should go ahead and go after him. Shouldn't be too expensive too as well for that deal. But let's go back to the other night. Debo Vibes is in the chat. Got some more Falcon fans in the chat. Mark just texted me he's on the call, so he'll be joining us here shortly. But the other night, T. Will, soon as we got offline, man, the Falcons made some moves, and I'm talking about as soon as we got offline,
like they were waiting for us.
Literally, as soon as we said, "Hey, y'all, one time for the fan, we're done." We did our shout outs, we ended the stream, and then Falcons go and re-sign Kyle Hinton. I always tell my Falcon friends, Terry, I've told you to this before. Eric Park, you guys know the Falcons work late, right? I don't know if you guys know this, but they work late. I guess after 9, 10, 11, you've seen some of the moves they've made in the past, has just not all the time it's at 8 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
right? But you saw the other night, we finished the podcast, Terry, like what? Like
Uh,
9:30 or so, nine some
something like that.
change
Yeah. Yeah.
around there.
Yeah.
Falcons made a move right here to re-sign Kyle Hinton. So that was big right there. Big shout out to Kyle Hinton now. Um, back over here. Josh Woods too as well. They re-signed linebacker Josh Woods. Big shout out to everybody retweeting one time for the fan and sharing one time for the fan too as well. Also re-signed Elijah Wilkinson, as we just mentioned before too as well. Some of the moves being made, Terry, after we ended the podcast the other night, man. Terry working late. Just your thoughts, T. Will. Behind the scenes, the Falcons are getting stuff done. It might not be the splashiest of the splashiest moves, but they're getting things done. T. Will, your thoughts as being a Falcon fan at this time?
I think this spells they're not going to draft any offensive players because the only excuse you needed to draft on offense was an offensive lineman. And they signed every backup offensive lineman that we would need this year.
They're working on that.
They extended Jake.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me says, and again, I'm not going to say definitively, Kerry, but I will say that more than likely they will not draft an offensive lineman. They could sign one. They could sign another center, like you guys said, but I don't think they'll be drafting one. I do think that this is the first year that I can recall in recent memory that the Falcons will probably draft all defensive players. So just my thoughts.
Do they have room for one offensive player in this draft, Terry?
I don't think so, no.
Sheesh.
And the reason I say that is they sent their entire...
You said it so politely, though. I don't think so, no.
Well, they sent their entire defensive coaching staff to the combine. You did not send one offensive guy to the combine. Now, what else do they do at the combine? They interview, right?
Yeah.
They do about 50 or so interviews. Well, that means why would you send defensive coaches to interview offensive players? I would think, I know these are the Falcons, but I would think you would not do that, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, that's kind of an indicator that, yeah, we're going all defense this draft.
Big shout out to Nando Barrington in the chat. Big shout out to Norel's in the chat too as well. Bring Trey to the A, something that we can possibly see. We do not know here, Falcon fans, that the Falcons is getting ready to make a move for Trey Hendrickson. Would be great to see. I mean, I think that would probably be your flashiest move you're going to get all offseason from the Atlanta Falcons if they were to go get a guy like Trey Hendrickson. I'm seeing small moves here, right? We talked about this on One Time for the Fan. The cap situation, they got to play out with contracts going forward in the future. Don't overdo it, Terry, right now. If you're not going to go out and get a guy like Trey or get some big name pass rusher to come over here, Michael Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, something like that, then just continue trying to work on this cap situation with these 1-year deals. You've done it before in the past. Right now, outside of edge rusher, probably that safety spot, I mean, I see what you're doing, Terry. I'm about to say T. Will, like he's Terry Fontenot. I see what you're doing, Terry Fontenot. Especially after the Grady move, I was kind of upset about it too. But days later, now we kind of let it, play out.
I'm still waiting for the goodbye. I'm just saying.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
I'm just waiting. I mean, man, I'm seeing like other players from other teams like moving on, and they like I need my goodbye. I mean, I'm like the ex that like needs the closure.
Eric Parker, not Eric Parker. T. Will. Remember we had the conversation in the chat the other day. Like it's gonna happen, right?
Just waiting for my closure. That's all.
For most of the Falcon fans, yes, I know how they feel about this situation because a guy like Grady Jarrett, they do want to hear the final thank you here.
Right.
And of course, after he plays his career out in the NFL, the Ring of Honor is probably next. Like, are the Falcons going to honor that? Right? Did he live up to that? I mean, you saw some of the players they have outside Mercedes-Benz right now. They've done these presentations before in the middle of the field at halftime. Like, is Grady Jarrett going to be one of those guys in the future? Is Julio going to be one of those guys in the future? Mackie Thornton is in the chat. Everyone early today. It's breakfast with One Time for the Fan.
Every Friday.
I guess they got their grits and their waffles early, Maggie. Big shout out to Mackie Thornton in the chat. Lisa,
gotta get that All-Star special.
Shit, not the All-Star.
Gotta get it.
Hear that Steve Weiss said yesterday in the Kirk Cousins situation with the Falcons. We're going to talk about that too as well because this is a weekend at Kurt's right now for the Atlanta Falcons. Are they going to make the move? I guess before what, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
Like I said, they do work late and they do work on the weekends. But we'll see, because that
Man.
quarterback position right now for starters is kind of thin. Looking around the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers wants a job too as well. So it's
Mm.
something to look into.
Hey,
You
I'm
still
here
got
for it, bro. I'm here
hey,
for it.
Jack.
I'm
you
so
also got
all
the two
about the
rookie
petty.
quarterbacks. Got the two rookie quarterbacks coming out in the first round. So
Right.
they're looking for starting positions too. Carrie,
I just wanted to correct myself earlier. I did say the Jets released their center. That was not true. It was actually the Vikings.
the Vikings.
Former first round pick. He was taken 18th overall in 2019. His name
Hmm.
is Garrett Bradbury. They released him. He's 30 years old. Still feel like he has football left in him. And he was his offensive line coach in college at North Carolina State was our current offensive line coach in Dwayne Ledford. So the connection is there. We know if the Falcons coaching staff and front office is all about connections, relationships. So I could definitely see them picking him up. You wouldn't have to pay him a ton, I don't think. And you also wouldn't have to trade anything for him because he was released yesterday. So I definitely think he's an option for us to compete with Newsel for that starting job at center.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Miss Carrie's here talking Falcons football. Just seeing this tweet from the Falcons, ain't nothing finer. As a Georgia fan, I felt good, right? Because Falcons tweeting out ain't nothing finer. But Terry, maybe there's a little bit more context to this, Terry. You, they're tweeting out ain't nothing finer, and they just sent everybody down to the pro day for
Mm-hmm.
Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Malachi
just,
Starks, you
I'm,
think?
I'm just saying, why not tweet it again later on this season when you go ahead and you draft a Georgia player?
Yeah.
Have you at the pro day to go check out some of those Georgia stars. And it might not be Malachi Starks. It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be Jalen Walker, right? It could be
Could
the other
be.
young man out of Georgia too as well. I mean, I'm sure the Falcons have their eyes set on somebody right now. Somebody that we can ask who the Falcons might have their eyes set on right now is a guy named Mark Cheney. Man, he's joining us here.
Mark
Talking
Cheney,
Falcons
what it do,
football.
man?
Hey,
Hey,
good morning.
Mark.
Good morning. Hey, mic check. Can y'all hear me good? I had to make a quick little stop, so I just want to make sure I'm not too distracted, not too loud or anything. How I sound?
You're good, man.
Don't
You
worry,
sound
you
great.
don't sound like Jack Spade that day as Mike went crazy. You're good.
Oh,
Don't worry.
wow.
You're good.
Sheesh.
You're good. You're good. Oh, come
Sheesh.
on. I had to
show
take
one
the
day,
shot. He
Mark,
he
where,
put it there for me.
The mic went haywire one day, and the chat just went off on me, man. They were like, "Jack, man, your mic is what Eric Parker say? My mic has a mic of its own." What he said?
He said Jack's mic was so powerful he could speak reality into existence. That was the
a
mic
bad
drop.
day, man. But your mic
That
is
was the
good,
mic
Mark.
drop.
Mark Cheney's here talking Falcons football with us, man. For those that do not know Mark, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. Where we can find you on social media, man. How long you been a Falcons fan, and we're gonna get straight to it, my brother.
Hey, I've been a Falcons fan for too long, man. It's been tough, but hey, I'm just a young man from Lawrenceville, Georgia. That loves some Atlanta sports, man. So y'all can all find me on Mark Cheney or Marquise Cheney. Like I said, I'm not that important, man. Let's get to the Falcons.
Hey, man, we go ahead and get straight to it. We're over here talking about the Falcons re-signing some players recently when we finished the podcast. A lot of offensive linemen. It looks like they're trying to bring back the core, keep everybody together, and it's kind of focusing on where the draft could go because they're beating around some of these positions, but they haven't knocked on a starting safety if Justin Simmons is not going to be back. I don't know if DeMarco Hellams might not be the guy, which everybody's kind of leading toward Malachi Starks. If you're kind of looking at the eggs position too as well, Grady not being here, but some of the moves they've made, Mark, already in the free agency, just give us your thoughts on that. The Falcons off season so far, and where do you think the Falcons are going draft night? Just it's a month away, so you can probably change your answer a month from now. Bodie did it before, so no problem. But your thoughts on that, man, just with the Falcons off season.
Yeah, I mean, well, first and foremost, I think it's safe to say we're going to be going defense on the draft this season. Well, I mean, I just have to say, hey, y'all did excuse me for getting far in the background now.
You're good.
Sorry.
You're good. Mm-hmm.
But again, I really feel like we're going to go defense. But so far as my thoughts of the offseason, kind of going as expected, right? You know, we signed Kirk Cousins last offseason for a big contract. So either way, even if Kirk was our starter or backup, we were going to be in a similar position this season. So, like I said, I'm expecting some of those depth type signings. I like the addition of Floyd, a depth type piece. And to me, that signing kind of it might signify where we're going in the draft. You know, there's a guy that measures up pretty well to Leonard Floyd. So maybe that's kind of part of that signing. You're bringing in a guy that, you know, you want to mentor and sort of build an identity. But like I said, so far all season, I mean, it's not exciting, right? As like the past 2 off seasons, you know, a couple years ago we go get Jesse Bates. Last year we go get Kirk. This year we go get, you know, Leonard Floyd. You know, so it's not as exciting, but like I said, it's what I've expected. But again, I think we're gonna go defense. Right when I was coming in, I was talking about a couple of Georgia guys. So I mean, just hope we knock it out of the park and, you know, we bring another dog back to the ATL.
Miss Carey, you hearing what Mark's talking about? Defense. Didn't mention anything about drafting an offensive player there. Terry's mentioning too. Falcons not sending no offensive scouts or coaches down to the combine. Heavy presence at Georgia's pro day. They do have a dog in the building by the name of Leonard Floyd. They just signed to as well. That could be your veteran piece. Carey, your thoughts now? Have they changed since the last podcast? Now that the Falcons have signed a lot more offensive linemen, they also brought back linebacker Josh Woods too as well. Just your thoughts on that, Miss Carey.
No, so yeah, I agree with Mark. Like, it hasn't been anything flashy, but that's because we don't really have the money. I don't expect us to do anything flashy until maybe we extend somebody like AJ Terrell or Chris Lindstrom, 2 guys that you know that are going to be here long term, could free up some cash that way. Maybe you cut Onyemata to save
yeah.
almost $9 million. My worry is, even though he wasn't that productive last season, then you're losing the last veteran presence really in that interior on the D line. So for me, if we do cut Onyemata, then you need to bring in another veteran on that interior. But yeah, I agree. I love that we had the biggest amount of most amount of staff, 22 total at Georgia Pro Day, more than any other team. That's how it should be, in my opinion. That's a championship winning college roster, you know, right in our backyard. So I think it should be like that every year. I mean, it probably should have been like that the last 2 years, but it is what it is. We're catching on now. Um, and yeah, I think I agree. Defense. I think, you know, we'd have very few picks, but I don't know. Who knows? You know, you never know with the Falcons in the draft. They always seem to surprise us. I guess last year after T. Will and I said draft night, there's no way we draft a quarterback. I just don't want to, I don't want to go out there and say there's no way we don't draft an offensive player because
Right.
anything is possible, literally.
Right.
Like
Carey,
the Falcons, they always
this
surprise
season,
us.
I think that, you know, anything is possible for the Falcons when it comes to drafting an offensive player. I'm gonna have to kick that to the curb on this one. I think they're going straight defense, Carey.
So do
All
I,
signs
but
are pointing defense.
I
If
know.
they dare at 15, let me tell you
Oh,
something.
not at 15. That would
Let me
be
tell you something. I'm a
diabolical. I'm
diehard
talking
Falcon fan.
like 7th, maybe. Like
Carey Lowe, I'm a
Right.
diehard Falcon fan. At 15, if I hear an offensive player selected after what we've been through this offseason, Carey, I'm telling you, that might be the last show for one time for the fans.
no, come on, they're not gonna do
I'm gonna
that.
tell you right now. So
I
all the
love
special guests who's coming up after the pick, we'll go ahead and send them a message and say, "Hey, look, we got to cut this short because
right.
Falcons took a wide receiver at 15, and you know, we talked about this. So you know, we're expecting that the Falcons do go defense. Now look, I'm gonna throw a little curveball here. Terry, Mark, Carey, jump in. If the Falcons if they go get Trey Hendrickson, do you still see them going defense at the draft?
Yes.
Yes. I mean
If they go get Trey Hendrickson or a pass rusher today, tomorrow, this weekend, I'm pointing toward Malachi Starks. Everything is going to lead toward that direction. But let's just say they go sign a nice little safety who can play alongside Jesse Bates. Well, then I'm gonna have to go James Pierce Jr. or maybe Jalen Walker, how they're down there at the University of Georgia.
Campbell.
Jahad Campbell from Alabama too as well. Now look, let's see if the Falcons throw a heavy presence at Alabama's pro day, right? Or at Texas A&M's pro day for Shamar Stewart, right? Let's see how that goes. But Mark, T. Will, I mean, you just answered that one. Kerry, if they sign Trey Hendrickson, you think they're still going to draft defense on draft night?
Yeah. It's funny though. It's funny that Kerry says, you just never know about his organization. I feel like the one sneaky pick that we could make that's kind of offensive, maybe Travis Hunter. I mean, maybe you set a house to go get a guy like that. He can do a little bit of multiple things. And again, that's assuming if you go get a Trey Henderson, you make another type of move this offseason before the draft. But yeah, other than that, I'm all in with the Falcons drafting defense.
Falcon fans hit that like.
Do you?
What's up, T. Will?
To Mark's point, do you guys think that Travis can continue playing offense and defense in the NFL, or do you think somebody's gonna give him a choice?
Yeah. I think. See, I did a breakdown of him last year, and I was saying, I think he can play. Be your starting corner, and then occasionally, make some plays on offense. So full time, that's not realistic. That doesn't even make sense. That doesn't make sense. Now, is he going to be doing it? He's going to be doing it because he's a good offensive player. So, but yeah, full time both sides. I don't think that's realistic for any athlete. Probably ever in the NFL.
I agree. They're gonna probably use them. Some teams gonna use them in a package here and there. But like Mark said, full time, you don't want to injure this kid. Like you already get him off the field playing cornerback, 5, 10, 15 snaps. Here he is over here playing wide receiver now. Like you might get him in a red zone package to score. Oh yeah, the crowd goes crazy. A highlight from Sports Center. But if he's doing this 7, 8 years down the line, I mean, once or twice maybe, but I don't expect him to see how it was in college, where the ball flips to the other side and here he is, he's still on the field getting ready to go play wide receiver. That's not going to happen.
So,
but then again, you play on a bad team, bad coaching.
Yeah,
these young players now they control everything now. They go out there and say, "Nah, coach, I ain't getting off the field. I ain't doing nothing." I forget what game it was the other day. I was watching in the NBA, and a kid, I forget who was it. The player got the technical, man, and the coach is like, "Get over here and get off the court." Player's like, "I ain't leaving. I ain't going nowhere." And the coach is like, "Get off the court. You just got to tech." And this young dude is sitting over there looking at the coach like, "I ain't leaving." Goes over to the scorer's table, talks to coach. I don't know what conversation they had, but when they came back from commercial, he was still in the game. But for that young dude to tell coach after the tech, "I'm not getting off this court," and coach is telling you get off. So I can just imagine in the NFL, a guy like Travis Hunter, maybe a guy like Bodie, they'll be like, "Nah, bro, you gotta get over there to the side, bro. You it ain't gonna happen." Big shout out to Bodie too as well. But a guy like Travis Hunter, yeah, I've seen defensive tackles getting in them fullback red zone packages all the time. So, it wouldn't hurt to see Travis Hunter make a Sports Center top 5 play every now and then. But you don't want to injure the kid too as well. I mean, he's going to be playing out there cornerback, and the NFL is at the highest levels, not college. Some of those college kids, I mean, some of them take plays off. You can see, Colorado. I saw it a few times. Travis Hunter was just looking like a dog playing against some of those guys out there.
I think somebody's going to do it, Jack.
What?
So look it, right? You've got Ohtani in Major League Baseball, and he pitches and hits. And, somebody's going to try it. Now, he'll probably play the bulk of his snaps on defense, but I could see some team maybe deploying him maybe 10, 12 plays.
I mean, for early in his career, possibly, but like Mark said, long term, I shouldn't see year 7, 8 for Travis Hunter that he's out here getting 700 yards. You know what I'm saying? 300 yards.
You never know, man. You never know.
But then again, we're not getting Travis Hunter, so
right.
It ain't happening. We're
probably
going to get like Kerry said, might even get a kicker. You never know what's going to happen on the draft.
Oh God, no. God, no.
I think one thing is interesting though. He may not play both sides, but he may be one of the few players that switch positions in his career. Like year 7, he becomes a full-time wide receiver because he's happen. Yeah, that something like that could probably happen. But yeah, it's unlikely. He's going to be there at 15, so the Falcons will have to make some moves to get him.
Big shout out to everybody in the chat. The Birdcage in the chat. Sullivan, Tyreek Johnson, Nando Barrington's in the chat. Larry's in the chat. Lisa Shepard. So many Falcon fans talking Falcons football this early morning. Thank you all for joining One Time for the Fan. Mark Chaney is here with us. talking Falcons football. Mark, man, we've had some special guests already on this season of One Time for the Fan, and we asked them to come back for draft night to talk Falcons football with us. So we got to ask you now, man, could you join us for draft night to talk some Falcons football? Is that cool? You got 10, 15 minutes for draft night to join us too as well?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Have to make that happen, especially this year because it's looking like it's going to be defense, and it's looking like it may be a dog. So yeah, I would love to.
Let's go.
Hey, Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. Super chat is up there too as well. Sullivan said, "Oh shucky ducky, old man Sully is back. What is good, fam? How's everybody doing?" Sullivan, diehard Atlanta Falcon fan. Here talking Falcons football. We got to talk about something though. And Carrie's here. Carrie, you saw the topics for this morning, and one of them is weekend at Kirk's, not weekend at Bernie's, but weekend at Kirk's. We're talking about Kirk Cousins.
Oh no! I thought I said last show I'm over I'm over that name. I'm over that guy, man. But it's looking like he's gonna be here.
Carrie T. Will got breaking news the other day on his podcast. Big shout out to former ATL Sports. We're hoping to get breaking news here on One Time for the Fan about Mr. Kirk Cousins. Don't know if that's gonna happen, but this weekend, Carrie, look like we're spending it at Kirk's. All you Falcon fans are gonna be hanging out at good old Kirk Cousins' house. Carrie, your thoughts about this Kirk Cousins situation? You're hearing Jesse Palmer speak up on the situation. You're hearing Steve Weiss speak on the situation. So many people have a lot to say about the Kirk Cousins fiasco, but he is still in Atlanta. Do the Falcons have a trade partner? Mark, please jump in at the Carrie. T. Will. Carrie, your thoughts on this weekend at Kirk's?
Yeah, I will start off by saying I was wrong. I have it literally written down on my personal planner, like the 17th, because I thought, okay, Kirk is gone before then. We're not going to pay him another $10 million after he's already robbed us of what, 90 million. But it's looking very likely that we're going to be giving him another $10 million bonus check. But thankfully for us, that $10 million doesn't count towards 2025. It counts towards 2026, which I originally was not aware of. So I think the Falcons are going to either do what they said they were going to do. They were not bluffing. They're going to have him be probably the most expensive backup quarterback ever in 2025 on our team. Or I think they say that, but they believe that, but they ideally hope to get a trade partner, whether that be within the season, somebody loses their quarterback, goes down, season-ending injury. Okay, well, you're desperate. Come get Kirk. Or they're hoping, maybe in the draft a trade, or maybe, I don't know. That I just feel like deep down, they hope that they do trade him for something to get his. It's not even just about the picks, because my personal opinion, you're not getting a good pick for Kirk. You're lucky to get 5th, 6th, or 7th, okay? My thing is, it's all about getting some of that salary off the books. So, I think Kirk, as of now, is going to be the backup. My Jameis Winston hopes have died. He's.
Oh,
I know. T-Will loves that.
I'm so hurt. Oh,
Jameis's biggest hater over here.
Say it isn't so, Carrie. No.
Yeah, I know you're so disappointed, but
I need a moment.
I'm just saying, I put that out on Twitter, and I said, who would Falcons fans you like as their backup quarterback in 2025 if it isn't Kirk Cousins? And the overwhelming response, half of the replies were all Jameis Winston, eat those W's, your favorite quarterback in the league. But yeah, I say all that to say
made me want to say, hey, go get Jameis. This guy would be pretty cool to have, in the locker room. That'd be pretty cool.
I think he'd be a cancer in the locker room. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
So to that point, a cancer in the locker room, I feel like the Falcons are all about, cohesion in the locker room. They don't ever have players that speak out against the team and the media, troublemakers. They're all about, good guys. So my thing is, Kirk has already spoke out, not just at, the Super Bowl week and when he did that ping pong tournament, he spoke out. He
when
also
he ran
spoke
from Lisa Shepard.
Right. And who else did he run from?
Did the shirt
D-Web.
thing, covered up his Falcon shirt.
Yeah. He switched changed out of his Falcon shirt mid-tournament.
Then he pulled up, let me speak to your manager.
Right.
and a Jerry
so-
Jones and went to Arthur Blank where Arthur told him, no, sir. We
Right.
don't do that around here. And guess what, Jack? Guess what we have, Jack? We have a super chat. We got a super chat.
Super chat. That's what it's
Got
looking
a
like right now.
super chat.
It's going down in a major way because we got Big Low Country Sports here
Big
with the
Low.
super
Big
chat
Low.
this morning. What in the world,
Big
Bo?
Low.
I
What in
need
the
Carrie,
world, Bo?
to bring in the shrimp. What is it? Oh, was that the croissant? The shrimp?
No, that's the croissant.
That's the croissant.
The croissant.
I don't say it as well as Big Low, but
This
I try.
StreamYard. I need Carrie to bring in the croissants. Mark still hasn't paid me my $40. God, I need a growl from T. Will. Jack, my truck ain't clean. What the
Damn.
hell?
Wow.
Whoa.
Are you sure Kirk Cousins?
Carrie, do you have the croissants?
I have to say, are we sure that's Big Low, or has Kirk Cousins hacked his channel?
Damn.
Like, I mean,
Wow.
sheesh.
Wow.
Because sounds like a hater.
He deserves a wow. Yeah, that's a wow. That's a definite wow. Definite wow.
Of course, I hope you had the range because tea times in 5 hours, man. It's
Carrie from way downtown.
What?
Right, but
Buckets.
Carrie has the croissants. Mark,
Croissants.
you got Zelle or Cash App?
Big Low, you know I got you, man. Yeah, you had to come on here and do all that. You had to do all that. You don't go for it. Hey,
Wow.
Definitely good to see Big Low in the building.
Hey man, it's going down in a major way. T. Will, this growl. Apparently, we pay our respect to DMX, but now there's TMX. Is that true? There's a TMX?
Oh gosh!
Yeah,
Don't
for
encourage
radio
this
sport.
behavior.
Listen,
Doing all
not
these shows,
for
and
him.
now you're rapping
Hey,
now.
look,
There's
man.
TMX.
I believe in giving the people what they want, Jack.
No.
You know?
Oh,
I believe in. I give them what they want, man. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is, right? I don't know. Like it started as just a goof with me and Debo, and it is morphed into something that wow, man. I mean, I've done it on 3 shows now, and yeah, man. The people dig it, man. Lisa hates it, you know.
Hey, so
But,
who are the people? Who are the people? I need to speak to these people because I'm with Lisa. I've been on this is like the third. I mean, I've already been on 2 shows with you doing this. Like,
Gary, we are live, and he is on the stream. You know, I thought he was gonna get offline with that.
Oh wow!
Who are these people, Terry?
Oh wow! Hey man, they're people, okay?
Hey, Terry's
They've asked me not to
He had them numbers
identify
the other
them.
night. Terry had them numbers, boy.
Yeah, man, that was a fun show, man. I think we ended up with 200 folks in there. That was fun.
it was the growl. It was probably the growl.
It was the growl.
It did do the growl.
Nothing but the growl, baby.
Look at this Falcon fan growling.
It was the growl, man. You know what? To be honest, Jack, and I'm being serious here. So I released it.
Lisa's comment.
Oh wow! No,
Oh,
seriously.
God,
Look,
not Wounded Cat. Lord.
Hold on. In all seriousness, Jack, I released it as a short, and I got like 400 views of the growl.
Wow.
So somebody, and I've released it on TikTok.
Wow.
Just don't let DMX family see that. They're gonna be like, bro, look.
It's TMX, man. He's got the golden arches. I have.
Oh God, the golden arch.
He's McDonald's. I'm
I'm
McDonald's. Okay. All right. No, seriously, man. Let's get into Kirk because this is interesting.
They
I'm
have
all
the
here
Big
for
Mac.
it.
We have the Big
The Big Mick. Right. Exactly. Exactly.
Mark Cheney.
Oh boy, that ain't nothing but ultra perm.
This is what it's all about. Jamal D's in the chat talking Falcons football. Look, we got some real special guests in the chat, man. Out of Your Falcon Mind is here.
John.
Football with us. Big shout out to Out of Your Falcon Mind. All the content creators. Once again, good morning. This is the off season. We're all having a good time. We're all waiting for like breaking news with the Atlanta Falcons. Maybe we get a do, and we look down on our phone, and next thing you know, Kirk Cousins is going to the Toronto Argonauts. And you know what I'm saying? It can happen. You never
Traded
know.
him to the Canadian League. Wow.
It's
Hey,
possible.
Has that ever been done before?
It wouldn't. It probably would never happen either.
Hey,
we do have to get to this topic.
Jack, I want to speak on Kirk, man.
No, we're gonna talk about Kirk. Matter of
All
fact, this goes to Mark Cheney. Let's talk about your cousin, right? Let's talk about your cousin here.
Ooh.
What's going
Kirk,
on?
go.
Wait, who's
Mark
cousin?
Cheney. Shit, Mark Cheney's cousin.
Oh no.
That was a shot, Carrie. That was a shot, Carrie. That was a shot. That was a shot.
Kirk cousin? Is he
Jack-
your cousin, Mark?
He
Jack,
does not claim him.
Jack, Carrie says you missed.
Kirk are not can. We are not can. What's up?
Carrie says you missed, Jack. She says you missed.
Huh?
Carrie says you missed.
Sheesh.
With that shot you took, you missed.
That's tough. That's tough.
He says airball.
Gosh. All right. Take it from the top. Mark Cheney, your thoughts, man? This Kirk Cousins situation. What's gonna happen, man? Are we just, we just kicking the can on the road with this guy? Is he gonna be here really this season? Are they gonna get the deal done this weekend? Is it gonna be like a post June 1st thing? I mean, Kerry mentioned even going into the season where a team could lose a quarterback and then, hey, come get Kirk Cousins if you want him. Is it going to be that long? I mentioned earlier on the podcast this year, you can't have this guy run out to training camp with all them fans out there after what's been going on this whole entire offseason. He's speaking to Arthur Blank. He's not talking to Terry. He's not talking to Raheem. Just your thoughts on this, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I think two things are for sure going into next season. One, we're going to be drafting a defensive player in the first round, and then two, Kirk Cousins will not be on this team. I mean, I do not buy that whatsoever. We saw what Denver did last season with Russell Wilson. Sometimes you got to take the L and just keep it moving. But the last thing we need to do is, just be oblivious and ignore the obvious, which is Kirk Cousins does not belong in Atlanta any longer. The longer that we push this out, it's just foolish we look. I don't think anyone buys the idea of him being on the trade market. I've heard that a lot, that we may be able to move him. I think in the ideal world, we could move him during the season, but for the Falcons, it's not ideal to go into, summer with Kirk Cousins in the building. So, when you look at everything, I just think he's going to be cut. It's one of those things, especially we already cut Grady. If you're going to cut guys like Grady, why would you cut? And granted, I understand you cut Grady to gain some money, but in this case, we'll cut Kirk Cousins to gain some peace of mind and just move forward. I don't think we'll be able to trade him. I just don't see that. I don't see a market for him currently, because everyone knows it makes a lot of sense for the Falcons to part ways with him. So, yeah, I don't buy that he's going to be the backup at all.
Hey,
Okay.
Falcon fans, hit that like, share, and subscribe button. T Will, let's get to your second cousin, Kirk. What is going on here with? Have you spoken to the fam? Have you spoken to find out what is going on? Is he still invited to the cookout? That's number one.
No, we disinvited them from the cookout. Number one, because he likes raisins in his potato salad, and we just couldn't get past that, And what was the other one Berto was talking about? Carrie, the uncle that brought the dish that was not so appetizing.
Oh gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah,
I remember what it was.
yeah.
I remember
Forgot what it was.
Thanksgiving one, wasn't it? Thanksgiving.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, I forgot. Oh, he put something in his mac and cheese. I can't remember.
Oh, the onions, the onions in the mac and cheese.
Onions in the mac and cheese. That is diabolical. That's disgusting.
Yeah, we had to.
Not diabolical.
Yeah, we had to disinvite Kirk.
Onions and homemade mac? No.
That's disgusting. But in all seriousness, I love this, guys. I absolutely love it.
You love it.
I love the onions in the mac and cheese.
No,
you love the
he
potatoes in the
loves
red
his Kirk drama. He does.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why. See, you guys are a little bit younger than me. I'm from the Gen X generation. Okay, we didn't get timeouts. We didn't get let me talk to you. We didn't get no. You got your ass whooped. Okay, you got told twice, and you got your ass whooped. Let me tell you something. I love, and I probably shouldn't say this, but I'm going to say it anyway. I love to see a mother lose it on her kids in the store. It gives me faith because my mother did the same to me. You know what I mean? 2 years ago, I was in a Walmart and the mom's like, look, if you do it again, and she popped him, and I had to keep myself from applauding her because, most of these kids are terrible. You see them in the store. No, I'm going to fall out. I'm going to do this. My mom whooped my ass. And you know what? Kirk is being punished, and good for the Falcons. You do not reward bad behavior. My issue with this generation, my issue with today and political correctness is because if people scream just a little bit and it's uncomfortable, all of a sudden we just want to release him. Let his ass sit in his feces. Let him sit in his fecal matter. Let him learn his lesson. Guess what, Kirk? Nobody wants you because if
You
they
did
did,
not
they
just
trade
say
for
that. You did not just say that.
I
Oh,
did say it, and
wow.
I meant it. I said
Wow.
it. I meant it. I'm here to represent it. Let's let
Oh,
Kirk sit. Let's let Kirk
sheesh.
sit
Good
in
Lord,
his.
Tua.
Yeah, let's go.
Please.
Why
Oh,
not? Why not?
wow.
Why not? Why not? Why not? You're gonna pay him
Because
anyway. Why not? You're gonna pay him anyway. You're going to pay him anyway. And you know what? This is what I believe. I don't think Kirk is about that life. Because if he was, he wouldn't be asking to speak to the manager. When the rubber meets the road, Kirk is gonna punk out.
Mm.
You say whatever you. Kirk ain't about that life. Kirk ain't about outburst in front of it. He's not. All right. Kirk is gonna sit his ass down when he recognizes. Because guess what? There's some kids you can't be nice to every kid. I got 3 kids, right? There was some of them I had to put on punishment. Some of them were okay. Some of them they stayed on punishment because that was what they needed, right? You can't be nice to everybody. You cannot. Bottom line, some folks, you got to show to the corner, and you got to tell them until you get your shit together, you're not going to move. I love this move. Matter of fact, I want to see a claymation death match between Terry Fontenot and Kirk Cousins. I'm here for it. Let's go. Let's go. Yes.
Mark has something to say. Mark.
No, but I'm just curious of like why we're all so mad at Kirk. Like, what did Kirk do to us? We got to remember, Kirk was the guy we signed, and then we drafted Penix. A month later. I don't really. I get that we don't.
Can I go first?
I'm going first this time, Gary. I'm going.
But I guess all I'm saying is, what did Kirk Cousins do?
I'm about to tell you.
What did Kirk
you ready?
Cousins not do?
Are you ready? Are you ready?
Hey,
hold on. Before you do, we got a super chat. Joe Nando Barrington. Hey, look, man. I thought about it. Draft night. Since everybody's gonna be here, we're gonna do the giveaway draft night. We got 3 hours to talk college football. We're gonna do a bunch of giveaways. So everybody that's been donating, draft night, we're gonna do a bunch of giveaways, man. So I'm telling you right now, it's going down in a major way. Super chat from Nando Barrington.
Thank you, Nando.
T-Will, Mark, Carey, y'all, they about to go off on this Kirk Cousins situation. Matter of fact, let me change the Kirk Cousins picture. I got a better picture for you all. Hold on. Bam.
Again, because when you just look at the quarter, we've had 4 different quarterbacks the past 3 years. So eventually, we got to start looking at the person bringing these people in my opinion. But T-Will, Carey, I'm all ears.
That's
all right,
a
brother.
good point.
I say this with all due respect. I respect you, Mark. You know that. So I'm just saying that Kirk lost his damn mind. Is what he did. Number one, coming in the door, running your mouth, costing us draft picks. That's one. Okay.
True.
Number two. Okay. You got hurt. I understand it. You knew you were hurt. You said you weren't. A lot of people do this. Let's bear that in mind. Cool. All right. You threw 4 interceptions against the Chargers. You lost your freaking mind. There's no excuse for that last interception, and I would have yanked your ass in. But if we want to keep it off the field, that's fine. Let's go to the end of the season, right? We go to the end of the season, and Kirk goes on Good Morning Football and says, by the way, I was hurt, right? So he states evidence, right? And basically says that Terry Fontenot and Raheem are liars. You broke the code, Kirk. You broke the code. Then what do you do? Curd, whatever. Then what else do you do? You take your shirt off in public. You diss us in public. You break up with us in front of the entire school as to say you Falcons are losers.
There should be no coverage of the Falcons at the Super Bowl, by the way, too.
And then
should not be speaking to the media.
And then you give D-Led the Heisman and you say, no, D-Led, there'll be no interview for you. And if you keep pushing it, you're going to meet Big Abdul back here, and he's going to introduce your ass to some pain. That is fundamental disrespect, right? And then, are you guys ready for the coup de grace? Are you ready?
Not the coup de grace.
Excuse me. Let me speak to your manager. Kirk, did you just Karen us? Did you just Karen us, Kirk? Is that what you did? Let me speak to your manager. What are you doing here? I demand right now that you guys release me, Falcons. This is unacceptable. Kirk is an ass, sir. Okay? Bottom line. I understand that we drafted a quarterback, but at the end of the day, Kirk is an ass. The fact that you're going to go out and air dirty laundry, disrespectful. The fact that you're going to skip line, right? You're going to skip by Raheem. You're going to skip by Terry F. Baby. That is tantamount to disrespect. Now, normally, I'd like his ass kicked off the island. But I think it's worse for him if he has to sit here and stew in his fecal matter and see what he did.
Whoa.
I think it's worse for him.
I wish you would stop
every
with that.
day.
Yeah.
Every
God.
day.
Too
He's
far.
gonna come out
We're gonna censor that one.
and training at training camp and hear Eric Parker on his ass. I think it's great, but that's what he did. That's what he did.
I mean, but again,
wow.
but I just hate that we ignore the same guy that went for Deshaun Watson and had to force and trade the Falcons' best player ever. You know, then you see what we did with Marcus Mariota. Marcus Mariota quit on the team. We trade Desmond Ridder. We trade Taylor Heineke. Like, I would not give Terry any passes any longer. I really feel like he started this, is all I'm saying. Kerry,
That's
I'm all
a good.
ears.
Mark has
Yeah,
a point. Mark has a point. Bad quarterback play is why Raheem is here. And
Right. And some of
and
y'all are in
situation
my
is
replies
quarterback.
telling me that we should bring Desmond Ridder as a backup. Another diabolical thing.
I love
Good
Desmond
Lord.
Ridder.
No,
There's
that
no
is insane.
complaint.
I'm
I
sorry.
love Desmond
Disrespectful.
Ridder.
Do not bring Desmond Ridder back. I'm sorry.
love
That's just
Desmond Ridder.
wild. No, but to Mark's point, I think there are other issues besides Kirk Cousins, right? Like how you mentioned. I mean, that's not the only issue here. Like you said, it could be the GM. I'm hoping Terry gets it right, but doesn't have the best track record in the draft. He is good with the cap. He is good with, free agent signings for the most part. I mean, I can't even be mad about the Simmons and the Judon pickups because who we had at DC, I mean, no one really looked great, honestly, but at the time they both seemed like great signings. So I say all that to say that yes, there could be other issues and definitely, it starts from the top. So it's not necessarily all on Kirk, but I think, God every morning when I wake up that we do not have Deshaun Watson as our
Amen.
quarterback. I'm not even joking. I mean,
Amen.
maybe not every day, but I often do.
Amen.
Like, imagine being the Browns. Imagine we really gave Arthur Blank what he wanted, and he was our quarterback, and we gave him all that money. That is sick. I mean, wow.
Imagine
So,
being a masseuse. I'm kidding. Go ahead.
Good Lord.
you are on
This is
something
tough.
else today, T. Will.
I know.
You need to
Talk
chill.
about
know.
You need to chill.
I know
Wow.
it. I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I had some
Wow.
caffeine this morning. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I'm a little.
okay.
I'm a
Jeez.
little antsy. I'm a little
Okay.
Falcon fans, hit that like,
But
hit that share, hit that subscribe button. Kerry, what's up?
no, it's hard to follow up what T. Will said. I will say the same sentiment. I understand that does look a little sketchy. Like Mark's point of view, like, hey, I'm leaving the Vikings because they're trying to draft my replacement. And then he leaves to Atlanta. They give him a long-term 4-year, $180 million insane deal. And then they follow it up with drafting a quarterback, not just shocking him, but shocking the world, quite frankly. I mean, even Falcons fans are shocked. So yes, I get that. Maybe he was blindsided. Maybe that's why it started off bad from the jump. But at the same time, you're a 10-plus-year vet. You're getting paid 108. I mean, technically 100 million guaranteed, but $180 million contract. All you have to do is go out there and play like you're the QB1. Don't F this up essentially, and you don't even have to worry about that quarterback they drafted. You don't, I mean, he's the future. Raheem and Terry said he's the quarterback of now, Kirk, and Penix is the future, which I
You
don't think
can't
that's
lie.
crazy to say when he's
When they
36
finally
years old.
heard
I
the
mean,
contract and all that, people was like,
yeah.
"Oh man, 4-year deal, Kirk Cousins. We can get a 4,000." Hell, we was on the podcast saying if we can get 4,000-yard Kirk, and what's gonna happen next season if Kirk? And remember, we was 6-3, and the motherfuckers back there,
Swag served.
Oh, wow.
Waffle
all
House
that
Kirk.
shit.
Oh,
Waffle
wow.
House
And
Kirk.
to,
And it was
to
all
that point,
disingenuous.
to that point, like Big Lo said in the comments, culture vulture. Yeah.
Right.
He's like a
Right.
Drake. He's like the Drake in this situation, and you
Right.
already know I'm a K-Dot fan. So
Shit.
yeah, he's literally yeah, Kirk is Drake, okay?
That's right.
So yeah, he was
So-
culture vulture in Atlanta. I don't know what to say. All I know is, I have the same sentiment as T Will. I can't really follow that up, but you already know I'm on the same page with all that. Started out bad, losing a 5th-round pick because tampering. You open your mouth. Now you're opening your mouth again. During the Super Bowl, this has nothing to do with Falcons. Essentially, he's trying to do what's best for him. He was trying to get the Falcons to release him. And
Yes.
what benefit do the Falcons have by releasing him? Really
Right.
nothing, because we have to pay him no matter what.
Right.
So it sucks. Honestly, I clearly do not want him on the team at all, but I feel like, not that I'm petty, like how T Will wants them to be petty. I just feel like, what is the benefit of it outside of out outside of not even about not giving Kirk what he wants, because I think obviously they don't want to just give him what he wants. Because yeah, like to your point, you went above your boss. It's like, at your job, you go above your supervisor and go speak
Right.
to their boss's boss. Like, nah, that ain't cool. Like nobody's gonna
Yeah,
be cool with that.
it
That's
happened the other
shady
day.
AF.
Right.
It happened the other
So,
day.
oh wow, Kirk is Fat Joe. That's
No, but it
hilarious.
happened the other day. I sent Country to go change some tires. He ended up calling
Oh,
T Will.
dang.
Oh
Why calling T Will?
Oh, wow.
you did
So
not.
boss
Oh, wow.
T Will
But
said
um,
Country said he might not be able to do the job. He said, why ain't Country calling me? Why he calling you?
Oh,
but
wow.
He
my
wanted to know
thing
why. He
is,
said want to know why you ain't calling him. Oh, go ahead, Karen.
wow.
my thing is, the last thing I want to say about it is that, yes, I want Kirk off the team. I don't think I'm done talking about him. I'm over him. Like, he clearly doesn't want to be here, and he's clearly not our future. We're done with him. Penix is our guy. But my worry is, and I mentioned this in the comments on Debo Vibes and T Will show earlier, is that I worry that having Kirk, if it does happen this way to where we don't get a trade partner and they really don't want to release him, we go into the season with him as the backup, hoping that maybe somebody trades for him when they're desperate for a QB. My worry is that it will be a distraction, not even just training camp, but the locker room. The Falcons are all about you know, cohesive locker room, no one's speaking out. You guys don't really think that Kirk will speak out? I mean, he's already shown that he don't give a F. He'll speak out to the media, and you already know D-Led is going to be on his ass. He's going to be asking those questions. He's going to be questioning Kirk. And not just that, but I hate that this is like something on Michael Penix's shoulder. Like, the media is also going to be questioning him. Like, he doesn't need to be worried about Kirk Cousins' situation, and that's just putting him in an uncomfortable spot for me. I just feel like, man, I hate that for him, because he just needs to be focusing on being the quarterback for the Falcons. So, what do you guys think of that? You don't think that could cause some conflict at all in the locker room and with the media?
I don't. Kirk did all of this because Kirk thought he was leaving, right? I don't think Kirk has the cojones to do that, knowing he's got to come back there every day. See, it's a difference if you know what I mean? If I fall out with somebody and I'm never seeing them again, you're number one, buddy. But if I got to walk in and see that person every day, that's a little different, Kerry. That's a little different. And I don't think he has the stones to do that, because if he did, you wouldn't have been this guy anyway. I think Kirk is a putty tat. I think he's going to fall in line just fine. I really do.
Wow.
I totally agree with what Mark said too as well about Kirk won't be here this season. They can go ahead and do what they can this weekend. If it doesn't happen, they still have until June. I mean, they have an opportunity to get him.
They do.
You heard I said about training camp. You can't have him walk out there at training camp.
Oh my
and that
God,
plays into what Kerry just said. The distractions. We haven't had these type of distractions in Falcons, organization in a while. Julio was one. We had to deal with that situation. Where is he? The where is Julio situation? He's over here in Dallas. He's in Tennessee with Derrick Henry. Like, we shouldn't be dealing with that with Kirk Cousins, knowing that the media, you mentioned D-Led and stuff, they're gonna go after Kirk when they see him out there on training camp. And it's like Michael Penix just wants to be Michael Penix and play quarterback, and right behind him there's 50 cameras talking to Kirk. So it's kind of like, and then Kirk, like you said, Kirk doesn't want to be here, right? He doesn't want to be here. So the Falcons can do what the Falcons can do to get him out of here. A lot of fans, I think, will totally respect that. Maybe that might be Terry's highlight of this year, is getting rid of Kirk, right? That might
I have
be
to ask you.
right?
I have
So
to ask you, Jack, do you, to your point about training camp, that he cannot be out there because the fans will just be coming for his ass?
Mhm.
Okay, so do you think there's some chance that, they forgot to finish renovating any part of the area where training
Shit.
camp is, and
Oh,
they're gonna have to
oh, I
close
love
training
it.
camp a
Bro,
second
Oh,
year in a
I'm
row
telling you
for
right
that
oh,
now,
reason?
if he ends
wow.
up on
From
the
way
roster, you
downtown.
hear Falcons
Oh,
construction keeps fans away from the facility for one more year.
Jack,
They're gonna put on a
Jack, she
Buford
deserves a
holiday.
wow for that, sir. You
That's
give
what
her
I'm
I'm
her
just,
wow.
saying,
I'm
She
just
deserves a
saying
wow, sir.
bro. Jeez,
that would be
goddamn.
crazy, but convenient at the same time.
Had to finish the wow for Mark's recent comment too as well before I added Carrie's wow right there. Big shout out to everybody in the chat talking Falcons football. This is what it's all about. A little bit over the mark here on the time. Got to go ahead and start wrapping this up here, but this is what it's about when I tell you. Falcon fans talking Falcons football. Mark, you've been on this channel before too as well. You'll definitely be back on this channel too as well. Last but not least, Mark, just give us your thoughts, man, on just like just as a fan right now, from what you saw last season to this season, bro, and how you want this team to respond this offseason.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm losing interest, man. I'm not really liking what I'm seeing. I feel like this team has just been mismanaged, man. I said that last season.
Yeah.
Been saying that for several seasons, especially when you go out and you sign Kirk and then you double down and get a quarterback. To me, it's just poor management, man. You're not using your resources the best way possible. So, like I said, I'm losing interest, but I'm optimistic. I feel like this offseason so far, we're adding those depth pieces. We're doing what we can. We're making those tough calls, like cutting Grady. That's a step in the right direction. Definitely looking forward to the Falcons moving on from Kirk, so we can just focus on winning the South. But like I said, I feel like we're going in the right direction. We go defense in the draft. Terry can still be very active after the draft. I think people are forgetting, we made some splashy type of moves after the draft last season. So, things are going to change a lot from March into August, September. So, like I said, I'm excited for the ride, and you already know I appreciate y'all having me on for today. Definitely love to start my Falcons Friday talking about Kirk Cousins and him.
Oh
What
man,
Did
T
you
will
even
say?
eat breakfast yet? You woke up and just started
no,
talking straight about Kirk Cousins? That's how you planning your Falcons day already?
Yeah,
sheesh.
this is how I had to start my day. So, but no, but like I said, definitely optimistic for where we're going, and like I said, love the show, man.
Hey, that's important here, Falcon fans, that he mentioned after the draft. Maybe we're so focused on now. After the draft, we talked about this when we ended the podcast the other night. Falcons made moves. As soon as we end this podcast right now, we might hear Kirk has been traded, like I said, to the Toronto Argonauts. We don't know. But there is a time
The Montgomery
after,
Biscuits.
right. There is a time after this, after today. There's a Saturday. There's a Sunday. There's a next week Friday. So maybe we're too focused on the right now. And like Mark has mentioned too as well, after the draft, Terry has made some moves. Terry knows if he's on a hot seat, he still has to be the general manager of this team, right? So he has to go out there and make the right moves. If it's now, if it's this free agency period that's going to be, coming up throughout the draft, after the draft, preseason, you saw it going up last year into week 1. There were still moves being made, players getting injured, having to sign this guy, move this guy over. So this roster would be built, I think, in a way to go win the South. And we're getting away from that right now. Remember, last year was about outrunning the South and the execution and communication. We're getting away from that now. Now it's about Kirk Cousins and Grady Jarrett just left. I know it's the offseason, but we still have to win the damn South. That's the biggest thing right now. The Bucks continue to do. We had the Bucks last year beat, bro. We swept them. We had the division. These jokers were watching the last game of the season when Baker Mayfield said he's a Jaden Daniels fan. Remember that game? Somebody, he's a Jaden Daniels fan tonight when we had to go play them Sunday Night Football. Commanders beat us. 2 weeks later, what did the Commanders go do? Fucking smack up the damn. Did they beat the Bucks? Was it the Bucks they beat?
Oh, they did, because
Yeah, they beat the Bucks.
I remember after that game, I tweeted out the video of Baker saying, "I'm a big Jaden Daniels fan tonight."
Yep.
That went
Yep.
viral.
Yep. Then he ain't
Love
no
it.
Jaden Daniels fan no more. But we have to get back to a spot where even Bucks fans, they thought the Falcons had the division at one point. We were scaring some folks. We need to get back to that, right? Remember that 2016 season? Teams were like, you cannot play the Falcons right now. Do not walk in that Georgia Dome. They're finna beat your ass. That's what I want. I want that Falcons team back. I talked about the schedule. I think it's in our favor. And some of the teams we've played against, I'm not sitting over here like, oh my God, I'm scared. I mean, the Bills going to be tough, but I'm not worried about, the Panthers right now or the Saints or the Bucks, but we'll see this.
To that point though, Jack, you can't sleep on our division because our division in this offseason has been getting stronger. The Bucks, even the Panthers have been making moves. I can't lie. The Panthers are making some moves on defense. I don't know if you saw that, but they're rebuilding their defense and fast this offseason.
Bryce Young said this offseason he wants to be a contender. And I guess Dave Canaris or whatever the coach's name over there, he's going to do the best he can to put Bryce in the best situation. Maybe the Panthers do have a chance to be a contender. I'm backing my Falcons all the way. I'm Kerry, you're backing your Falcons all the way. We don't want to sound like,
Me too, but I'm not going to say we're going 12-5 again like I did last season because I'm not going to talk my shit. And then, wow, they really showed me.
So no score prediction this year for the Falcons.
No, I don't think.
Hey, go have a good game, guys. We'll see you guys in the next podcast.
Win. Right. Hope they win every game, but I'm not going to come out and say 12-5. I don't think I'm going to give my prediction this season.
Kirk pissed Carrie off so bad she cussed twice today. Y'all noticed that Carrie never cussed.
I don't cuss, and I'm not on record.
Carrie does catch yourself cursing a few
times. I'm over Kirk Cousins. If you guys haven't been able to tell, I'm so over that guy.
I'm just so tired of this. Shoot, you guys! I'm just like Carrie. I know you're getting ready to curse, but she don't want to curse.
Oh man! Man!
I need K-Dot.
Family show. T-Will.
Right. I need K-Dot to come out with the Kirk Cousins diss record to send him back to wherever he's from. I know he's not from Georgia, that's for sure.
The other day I was getting ready to set the parental guidelines on the screen to like, oh yeah, it's a family show. In the first 5 seconds, T-Will drops the F-bomb. Fuck Kirk Cousins, motherfucker.
I did not do that today. I did not. That was Wednesday's show.
Good.
I did not do that today.
Somebody might be in the car with their child, like, oh, this is a nice, friendly podcast. Get to learn about the Falcons. Oh, okay, Dad. I don't want to hear about the Falcons. Then
that is a good point. I apologize to any parents listening to us on the way to work this morning. I really do apologize.
Jack curses more than you, Carrie. It's okay.
Not on the record, though. Not on the record.
Jack will curse.
If my son is listening on the field trip right now, don't listen. Like, please don't tell me you haven't. Please don't tell me you pulled the earplugs out and everybody's listening on the bus. They're gonna be like, who's that cursing back there?
Oh wow.
Yeah, big shout out to everybody here talking Falcons football. Man, let's get to some shout outs before we get up out of here, man. Got a lot going on. Mark Cheney's gonna be back. Draft night talking Falcons football, wearing his Georgia gear. For those here in the chat, listening, watching, this is great. One time for the fan is from the fan for the fan. This is what we do. Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. Y'all woke up and like T. Will said, he hadn't even ate breakfast yet, and he's over here talking about the Falcons, man. You know what I'm saying? This is what it's about. Some of y'all on the way to the gym, stuck in traffic on 75. Don't matter where you're at. You're talking Falcons at 10 o'clock in the morning. Deke Ruffin, it's 7:30 in the morning on the West Coast. This joker is up talking Falcons. Everybody's interested, right? So this is what it's about. Mark, man, let's get some shout-outs from you. We have your page up right here for those wanting to know, man, what you got going on, any upcoming podcasts, man, what's up with the Falcons and your content, man, what's going on? Just let us know where we can find you on social media, bro.
Yeah, I mean, y'all see me on the screen at Mark Channing. I actually appreciate you having this up because I see Kirk Cousins tucked away in that corner, so I need to make an update.
Wow. Yeah, you need to update that.
Yeah, I need to go and update that real quick. But yeah, I mean, that's what I plan on doing, kind of updating the NFL world on what the Falcons have been doing this offseason. So plan to see me back outside this summer with some sipping scouts, with some 4-minute drills, breaking down some of the free agent additions, also some of our draft picks. I was considering maybe doing a couple of prospects, but I'd rather just see who we get and then break it down.
Nice.
But yeah, like I said, definitely gonna be back outside this summer. Definitely appreciate y'all having me. You get me back in the groove. So shout out to One Time for the Fan, man. This is the most fun, fan engaging podcast that I've been on, especially one of the best panels. So, like I said, appreciate y'all for getting me back outside and, back into my flow.
Hey, Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. For Mr. Mark Cheney here. Falcon fans, man, it's going down in a major way. Miss Carrie, let's get to your shout outs. I'm sure the captain's getting ready to start the yacht, and you guys need to go ahead and get on the boat.
Oh wow.
What is it? A 3-hour ride to
A
South America this
3-hour
morning?
tour.
Sheesh, nah, I'm not getting on the yacht till Trey Hendrickson or Micah Parsons joins. Okay,
That's
I'm
what's
just saying.
up.
I'm waiting for one of
Love
those
it.
guys to join. I mean, I
I
don't know if you
love
guys
it.
saw, but Micah Parsons is having a little beef on social media on Twitter last night. So I don't know. Things are not going so well in Dallas. So he might want to, see what Atlanta's all about. Just saying.
Sheesh.
But yeah, shout out to you, Jack, T. Will. Shout out to Mark. It's always a pleasure to have him. I respect all his knowledge and everything he knows about the Falcons. Check out his channel because he does do a really good video breakdowns. I've
He
actually
does
I don't know if you
great.
haven't been putting any content lately, but I was missing his content honestly on YouTube. So hopefully he put some more out there soon for sure. But
Look at my.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Carrie.
There's some
Debbie,
things in
appreciate
the
that.
works, man. I'm sure there's some things in the works.
yeah, no, his stuff is really good. So,
It
but
is.
yeah, all that to say, shout out to everyone in the chat. I appreciate you always supporting us. Hope you're happy and healthy. And yeah, I also saw breaking news that which we already talked about this. We didn't think he's coming back. Because we only had him on a 1-year deal. He ended the season before he even started with us, really. But Rondell Moore is visiting with the Vikings today, so he's definitely not going to be back. It don't look like. So.
Well, and that was a question that a Falcon fan had mentioned in the chat the other night. What do we do about Rondell Moore? And we talked about the wide receiver group and Drake London, Mooney, Ray, Casey, Hodge that gets brought back, and probably would look to go get maybe undrafted free agent or somebody who steps up in camp or somebody, just to try to fit that last spot. But Moore was a guy that I was thinking, damn, it would be great to have him. Then he got injured last year, and then as you can see, he's visiting the Vikings right now. So probably doesn't look to be back here in Atlanta. We still have more time, a lot more time here in Atlanta, Falcon fans, to see what the Falcons do. Mark, you heard what Kerry said. You're a great podcaster, and you do a great job breaking down film and so forth. But you also do a great job washing cars. You getting ready to start a car detailing company anytime soon?
Wow.
I got a couple cars.
Stop
got a couple cars
it.
for you too as well.
Damn.
I mean, I probably need to. I'm down here in Florida, man. It's pollen. It's killing
the
us.
pollen. Yes. I literally went to the car wash yesterday, Mark. I feel your pain because I have a white vehicle and you could just see the layer of yellow on the hood.
So,
so I feel
T-Wood
that.
knows we do these jokes on the show, man. So we kind of invite everybody into the jokes, man. So A1, he's actually on the roof right now.
Damn. Wow.
Fixing some stuff up there.
It was this guy, A1.
Yeah.
It was this guy right here. This guy.
Changes tires. Everybody needs some roadside assistance.
Damn.
Country, man.
Damn. Taking shots.
We just have a good time cracking some jokes here and there, man. So feel free when you join the One Time for the Fan. You got any jokes like that too as well? Let us know, man. Apparently, Deshaun Coswell said I got to go cut his grass later on. I don't know why I have to go cut his grass, but
shout out to Deshaun.
Deshaun Coswell, man. He started all this.
He did.
He's hilarious.
He started the Podcaster Olympics. Mark, you'll have to come up in August. We're gonna have a Podcaster Olympics. You'll have to join us in August.
I hope you guys really do that. It's gonna be hilarious. I hope you guys are joking.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
It would be fun.
T. Will, man, your shout outs, man, for my ATL Sports One Time for the Fan.
Will do, man. Hey, to everybody in the chat, thank you for joining. To my star-studded cast, first and foremost, Mark. Hey, man, you never lost it. You still got it, buddy. You got it in spades, and I'm looking forward to your content. Again, dude, you work miracles with videos. Okay, you can make videos deal cards. So I'm just glad you're back in the game, man. And hey, man, I'd love to have you over at For My ATL Sports. You know what I mean? We crank this thing. Hey, we can have the whole family. We can have Jack and Carrie. I can talk some more shit about Kirk. Carrie'd love that. Maybe even do my TMX. She'd love that too. It'd be piss Carrie off day. Come on
Just
over.
hold the growl.
Wow.
Hey.
Yeah.
You know what?
I didn't even do that one.
TMX.
I didn't even do it. Whatever. Hey, man. For My ATL Sports 1, the number 4, My ATL Sports, the number 1 at the end. Please go to YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. Got a show tonight at 7 p.m. with Jordan Burton, and we're going to look at NFL quarterbacks and a whole lot of stats and stuff, and it'll be fun. Probably be some jokes too. We'll be there at 7 p.m. You guys check us out. Last but not least, I want to thank God for waking me up this morning and everything he does for me. And thank you, Mr. Jack Spade and Mr. Eric Parker, for giving my start in this business. It's on you, Jack.
Falcon fans, hit that like, hit that share, hit that subscribe button. It's going down in a major way. Thank you all for joining us here on One Time Breakfast with One Time for the Fan. Once again, it's Falcon fans talking Falcons football on a Falcons Friday. And One Time for the Fan is always from the fan for the fan. Big shout out to Mark Cheney joining us this morning here on One Time for the Fan. No fans are like, come on, Jack, 2 more hours, man. Y'all can stay till 12. Not today. We've done it in the past, but not today. And we'll get Mark back on the channel. If y'all want Mark back on the channel, let me know before the draft. We'll get him back on. I'm sure Mark has some availability. And, of course, on draft night, he'll be joining us too as well. Who we got now? We got Lisa Shepard joining us draft night. We got Big Little Country joining us draft night. We got
Wakando
joining us draft night. We got A1 joining us draft night. We got Mark Cheney joining us draft night. Man, we are moving up there, man. We are just on the right. Scott Carissa is going to be joining us on draft night too as well, man. We are packed.
Hey, hold on, Jack. It's Eric Parker. He says Kirk Cousins is joining us for draft night.
Shit.
Oh,
that's tough.
That was from the other day.
That's
Come on,
tough.
it was a little funny. It was a little.
Falcon fans, hit the like, hit the share, subscribe. The other day we couldn't even finish the podcast. It was just straight jokes in the chat about Kirk Cousins. It was just. Like,
I really had tears in my eyes. You got to go back and watch that show if you didn't watch it. It was hilarious.
Man, great show. That Eric Parker is hilarious, man.
It was the roast of Kirk Cousins.
It was really the roast of Kirk Cousins.
But
sponsored by my brother, Eric Parker.
On One Time for the Fan, from Terry to Carrie to Bodie. Man, everybody who's played a part One Time for the Fan, the chat, everybody who's been a special guest, thank you all. We really do enjoy these podcasts. Mark can tell you, from even spending hours breaking down film to editing videos to Carrie, literally dropping gems every single day in the chat about the Atlanta Falcons. T. Will is honestly giving 100 hours in a 24-hour day of just podcasts. There's another podcast Terry has that in the next 3 minutes.
No,
I don't know how.
No, literally, he jumped on Debo Vibes and jumped straight to this one. It was crazy.
Terry's
pause.
Come on, really?
Pause.
Terry's like trying to catch a connecting flight with these podcasts. Like
really? He's
like
running to exactly.
He's got to get to the other flight at like Concourse B at like 1:44. Like he's like podcast driven right now to bring you all content. But as a Falcon fan, you got to look at it and say, this is exciting, because outside of the radio station, which most of y'all can't call in all the time and speak to, these podcasts are entertaining, and there's so many great content creators in the community space that you all can go check out, listen, like, share, subscribe, the notification bell. You know, we shout you all out all the time, so continue doing what you guys do. Be great. I have to go prepare for some stuff today, and I got a big golf game later. So thank you all. As you can see on the screen, the Rise Up Tour has a spring fling coming up at the City of Forest Park. All volunteers are welcome. Come on out, help out. It's going to be a great time. Last year, they had a lot of people out there. And, of course, Rise Up Tour Fan Club will be giving back this year, too, as well, man. So big shout out to everybody from the fan club. Come on out. Have a good time. It's probably going to be a bright, sunny day. Bring the football. Bring the kids. Bring your tailgate stuff and come hang out. I think it's April 12th. April 12th, y'all. So big shout out to Georgia, Texas boy in the chat who said, what did you do One Time for the fam? Finally caught y'all live. Haven't seen y'all in like 2 weeks. What? Georgia, Texas boy. That's what it's all about, man.
Gotta catch the replay. We just ended, man.
Just talked
thank
about
you.
Why we do this podcast. And Georgia, Texas boy jumps in here and says, man, I can see y'all in 2 weeks. Thank you, Georgia, Texas boy, man. Mark Cheney, appreciate it, man. We'll see you, if not before draft night, on draft night. But we appreciate everybody in the chat. One time for the fan, from the fan, for the fan.